Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Football is back. We're ready. The Premier League, the watch-alongs, it's all back all the way through till March. Have it. I love it when that third international break is out of the way. It's got to be worth a like. Let's hit 1 million likes on this video. But I tell you who else is back, and I don't like this. Liverpool are back. We're going to look to the weekend as well. Massive game against Man City, but we're also going to have a look at this league table. Who's going to win the league? Get your comments in. Get your comments in on this. Who is going to win the league title? But I want to start off by saying Liverpool are back. And please do check out the podcast. Link is in the video description. Brand new today, Goldbridge. It's the Friday show where we look ahead to the weekend. We're really in depth looking at Liverpool, Man City, combined 11. A good section on Brighton and why I'm worried about Brighton. A bit on Man United as well, Arsenal. Check out the podcast, plus the Goldbridge game, which is absolutely fantastic. We love that. So check it out. Please keep supporting the podcast. But why are Liverpool back, you might ask? Well, they're back playing games against Man City tomorrow. Could be in a title race. We'll talk about that. But Liverpool are back. And I don't like doing this because obviously Man United fans don't like Liverpool. And I don't think it matters what happens tomorrow against Man City, by the way. This is more a statement of something I've been thinking about for a while. And I wanted to wait really until after this international break to state it, because you say someone's in crisis and they go and win the next 5. You say somebody's back and then they go and lose their next 5. I think Liverpool are back. And the reason I say that is because they were gone last season. They were gone. They were finished. There was some murmurings about Klopp leaving. There was even some saying Klopp should be sacked, which is ridiculous. If you don't know the Liverpool fan base, they would never do that for what he's done to the club. He can walk. He won't ever be sacked. And he's earned that right. But they're back. And they're back in a way where a statement of Liverpool being back actually is a statement, because this is not the Liverpool team that won the Champions League or won the Premier League or pushed Man City close a couple of times. This is a new Liverpool. And to be back, you've got to judge the new Liverpool. And I think I have. And I think many of you may well agree. That midfield, we've spoken about it loads. It's a brand new midfield in one summer. It's incredible what he's done in that midfield. It's the heart and the core of the team, and he's rebuilt it. But it's not just that. I feel that Van Dijk is back playing some of his best football post-injury. Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world. Trent's still got his defensive problems, but going forward, I think there's more confidence, probably from playing for England. I don't know. The midfield we've spoken about, the balance and the combinations. He's probably got about 6 or 7 combinations in that midfield now, which is remarkable considering the previous Liverpool team was all about Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago. None of those involved now. It's a brand new Liverpool, and they are back in amongst it. You've got the consistency of Salah. I think Darwin Núñez, I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I like him and I think he offers a lot to them. Diaz obviously has had his injury and personal issues. I think he's going to get stronger. Gakpo, I believe, is a good signing. Jota is very, very consistent. The list goes on, and Liverpool are in this title race. Whether they can win the league or not, we'll talk about that in a minute, but they're in this top 3 race, and they're not going to drop out of that. Now, last season, Liverpool weren't even in a top 4. They're playing Thursday night football because of that. To go from that to this, I think some people are disrespecting what Klopp has done and underrating it, because I think they're thinking, well, Liverpool won the league. They've challenged Man City before. They're back in it now. What's the big deal? But the transition from that team to this team, they're different teams. Last season was shit. That was a low point that could have become 2 or 3, 4 seasons. They were finished. That successful Liverpool team was done. He had to evolve. He had to build another one. And I mentioned what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. He built 5 teams, really. Some would say 4, some would say 6, some would say 7 or 8. But he built a number of teams where, yeah, you know, people like Scholes and Giggs would be part of it, and Rooney would be part of it towards the end, or Ronaldo. But you look back to that very first team with the likes of Hughes and Cantona and Ince. He evolved teams over a very long period of time, taking little bits of that, bringing new bits in and evolving. And that's what Klopp needed to do, and that's what he has done. They've built a team that you can say, well, it's very similar, but it's not. It's not. The sandwich filling is completely different. The core of that team is completely different, and they are a different Liverpool, and they are now a team that I think can be a new Liverpool team for the next 2 or 3 years before he has to evolve again. So I firmly put them in the top 3. Can they win the league? Well, look, another reason I feel that it's important to say Liverpool's back, and another reason I think it's important to focus on the game tomorrow in the title race, is because really, and I wanted to keep this a VAR-free zone, but they should actually be top of the league because they should have at least got a point against Spurs, which would put them on 28, level with Manchester City. So I don't think they lose that Spurs game if that goal is given, and I think they'd get at least a draw there. So Liverpool have had their injustice this season, as have many other clubs, we know. But also, one of the big things for Liverpool is that when you look at that top 8 or top 10, and I don't, with all due respect to West Ham, I don't necessarily include them in that. So the top 10, take West Ham out of it, I think. Take Liverpool out of it. You've got 8 teams there. Of those 8 teams, they've played Newcastle away, Chelsea away, Spurs away, Brighton away, and they play City away tomorrow. In the second half of the season, their most difficult away games can only be Arsenal, United, and Villa. So they've played a huge amount of difficult games, Liverpool, already, that if they can maintain and keep that Anfield form, where are these losses going to come from for Liverpool, pragmatically, when you look at it? They've got a lot of difficult games out the way. Chelsea away, Man City away, Newcastle away, Spurs away, Brighton away. So I think that they're in a position where, really, you can't see Liverpool dropping off. So it's about where they're going to nestle themselves into that top 3. Now, it's a huge game against Man City tomorrow. As I say, listen to the podcast. We've got quite an in-depth talk about that, plus a combined 11, which we really enjoyed doing, which I think is probably the best Liverpool-Man City in fairness, fairest one you'll ever listen to. So check it out on the podcast, links in the video description. But I do think that this Liverpool team is here to stay. Champions League football will be back next year, guaranteed. It's about whether they can win the league. And look, I'm not going to change my mind about Manchester City. They may well beat Liverpool tomorrow. And if they do, Liverpool will just be somewhere, second or third, and Man City will probably go off and win the league. It'd be great for the league if Liverpool get a draw tomorrow, or even better, a result, a win, as much as I hate saying that, because for the title race, it would be fantastic. But I think Man City still win the league. That's my opinion. Where Liverpool finish, if Man City win the league, I think is very, very interesting, because if they take second, that's Arsenal dropping off. And I think Arsenal are looking at this Liverpool renaissance or rebuild or whatever you want to call it. And probably they play each other just before Christmas. I can't wait to watch it, because who is the better team at the moment, Liverpool or Arsenal? We're talking about Liverpool-Man City tomorrow. Man City will be favourites. We hope there is a result that isn't a Man City win. But if there is, I don't think people will be surprised. But Liverpool and Arsenal, who's the better of those two? Who is the real pretender to the throne? Is very, very interesting. And again, I still think there's people out there that think it's Arsenal, and they might well be right. But are we underrating Liverpool, who I believe are back? So get your comments in below. Have I over-egged the pudding there? Or do you think that it's a fair assessment of where Liverpool are? Because they've played a lot of difficult games, and they are where they are on merit. And it's almost been forgotten that this is a new Liverpool side that was dreadful last year, and it's just gone, bang, we're in there. We're right up in there. It's interesting how Klopp has done that, and the rewards will be Champions League football, I believe, even in November. I think I'd be stunned if they didn't get top 4. They'd have to have an injury list of, Newcastle, Brighton and Man United combined to drop away. But and the consistency of Mo Salah as well. I can never stop talking about the brilliance of Mo Salah, which, as a Man United fan, if I'm saying he's brilliant, then he's basically one of the best players in the world, because it's not a nice thing to say, but he is ridiculously consistent. And Liverpool keeping hold of him for another year instead of him going to Saudi Arabia is absolutely massive. But look, it is a Premier League weekend. I'm doing Man City against Liverpool tomorrow as a watch along on this channel, so make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We've also got the I think I'm going to do Chelsea-Newcastle or Newcastle-Chelsea. I've completely forgotten about that game. It's a massive game at 3 o'clock. And then we've got Spurs-Villa on Sunday as well. So lots to keep you involved in. Get your comments in below. Who do you think is going to win the title? Do you agree with my comments about Liverpool? And where would you put Liverpool and Arsenal at the moment? The game's coming up, but who do you think gets second between Liverpool and Arsenal? Who do you think's the better team at the moment? Lots to get your comments in on. Please do check out the podcast as well. Links in the video description. A brand new one out today. Support Goldbridge Saves Football. It's your podcast, and we appreciate your listens. I'll speak to you soon on the next one. Thanks for watching.